All right, so me and Mrs. Big G just finished watching the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. So now, first thing I want to say to anyone watching this video, spoilers, 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 spoilers. Fair warning. Go watch episode 1 and 2 and then come back and watch this. I don't want to be accused of spoiling anything on you. All right. So with that said, I've been a lifelong Marvel fan. Avengers, Vision and Scarlet Witch, 2 of my particularly favorite members of the Avengers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this. Now, a lot of individuals have been talking about how this is a run of the Vision series, and yeah, to a degree it is, but is it? Or is it more of a vision, so to speak, of the Vision Scarlet Witch limited series, where they moved to, I think it was like Teaneck, New Jersey, to try to start a normal life. And that's where they encountered a lot of problems with mutantators. And their neighbors in this are a secret mutant couple called Illusion and Glamour. Interesting. And they hide their mutant powers by acting as stage magicians. Even Scarlet Witch's glamour costume was fairly reminiscent. They both looked the part. I enjoyed that tip of the hat, that homage to that. But no, that's not going anywhere. I don't think that connection is anything but a tip of the hat. Now, there's something else that was very important that happened to Scarlet Witch and Vision during their limited run, but it didn't start there. There's something I have not heard any reviewer talking about, and it was something even I only remembered in foggy detail. So I looked it up. Agatha Harkness is a major background player for several comics, including the Fantastic Four. In this regard, she has been the governess of young Franklin Richards, their son, the mutant who can literally do anything he wants. Whatever he desires, he can alter any and all of reality how he sees fit. And there's been a lot of dampeners put on him by his father, psychic dampeners, to try to control this power in a child. And Agatha, being a masterful witch, and in her own rights a master of mystic arts, was the perfect governess or nanny, au pair, for young Franklin Richards. That was when she first appeared. It had nothing to do with the Avengers or Scarlet Witch. Her first appearance is firmly rooted in the Fantastic Four, and major upcoming title in the MCU that these shows all tie in directly to. Not kinda, sort of, do they, like the Netflix shows. No, these are 100% canon for the movie industry of MCU. Getting so excited. So she ties in with the Fantastic Four. Her first appearance, she was his governess, and a group called the Salem 7 came and kidnapped her. And that's where her backstory becomes available to the audience. So I remembered the Salem 7, and I remembered Agatha Harkness's part in that storyline, but I didn't remember enough of it. So I did a little bit of research, and boy, not only has it kicked in a lot of memories of these stories, but I think it fills in gaps that we've been missing, trying to guess where this is going, what it's based on, what we're going to see, what's going to be introduced, what's new to the MCU through this, all of that. Everyone has missed, but not me. I got it. So I'm going to read directly to you for this. So pardon me if I'm not looking directly at you, but check this out and let's talk about how this fits in. Salem 7 originated in New Salem, Colorado, a hidden town in an unsettled part of the Rocky Mountains, populated entirely by magic users who mostly lived in fear and loathing of normal humanity due to the persecution that was imposed on them during the Salem witch trials. All of the Salem 7 were fathered among different women by Nicholas Scratch. Scratch's own mother, Agatha Harkness, was the most powerful of the town's inhabitants, but she chose to leave the village and live among humanity. Enter the Fantastic Four. In time, she became the governess of the Franklin Richards, son of the Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four. Scratch had Salem 7 abduct Agatha for purposely betraying the New Salem community. They also brought back Franklin with them. This is important, a child. They also brought Franklin back with them to give to Scratch as a new host body, which forced the Fantastic Four to pursue. Although initially overcome and imprisoned, the Four defeated the captors, banished Scratch from this dimension, and saved Harkness. When Salem 7 much later tried to avenge themselves on Harkness, she removed their ability to change forms. Okay, there's a few points in that. We're going to get to that, but hold on. This next paragraph is where I think it really gets meaty for us, the MCU fan of WandaVision. Over the years, Salem 7 managed to reverse the spell, locking them out of their enhanced forms, greatly weakening Harkness in the process. They took control of New Salem, and with Vertigo, who's one of the team members, as their leader, they turned the whole community against Harkness and burned her at the stake. The Scarlet Witch and the Vision were drawn to New Salem, where they were captured by the Seven. Another member, Gazelle, dissented with the group's plans of sacrifice and was thrown in with the prisoners. The Vision escaped and battled Vertigo, who drew into herself the power of the other 665 residents of New Salem. When the Vision defeated her, Vertigo lost control of the power. The Scarlet Witch managed to channel some of it off, but in the ensuing explosion, all of New Salem was apparently wiped out, including the Seven. Okay, let's talk about these two paragraphs about the Salem 7 and how this is fitting in to WandaVision and the overall MCU. Now, a lot of speculation has been going on about Mephisto making an appearance in Scarlet Witch and possibly being the main antagonist villain in Doctor Strange and the Dimensions of Madness. Okay. Now, I've looked at this, and as far as I could tell, although Agatha Harkness is listed as Nicholas Scratch's mother, there's no mention of his father. So if this is true, and that hasn't been brought up in the comic books yet, I see no reason why Kevin Feige would not take this opportunity to put a few things together. So let's look at this. Nicholas Scratch, the son of Agatha Harkness, has fathered seven superpowered magical mutants, you could say. Now let's take a look at the cast. The cast as listed for WandaVision. Now, when I was looking at this on my phone, I noticed that the guy in the commercials was the last one on that list. Not only that, but there are 7 other individuals, town people, that are just that. Townspeople that are listed in the cast. The rest of the cast is Paul Bettany and Olsen and Han and Rand, Monica Rambeau. I'm sorry, I can't think of the actress's name right now. My apologies. And one that's listed as a tactical member of SWORD. Okay, so we have the main cast members that we know for a fact. Everyone believes, including myself, that Agnes is Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness. Okay, now, what if it's not directly Mephisto? What if, taking from this storyline, Nicholas Scratch needs a new body? Because episodes 1 and 2, there's all this talk about children, especially heavier in episode 2 is this whole fundraiser. And what's the fundraiser for? as everyone chants like a mantra, like a mind-controlled group of cultists, for the children. For the children. There's no children. Episode 1 and 2, there's no children anywhere. Not only are there no children, there's no signs of children anywhere. Now, from the trailers I see in the upcoming episode 3, which looks like the Halloween episode, there's children everywhere. But these children only appear after Wanda becomes pregnant. I don't think they're real. I don't think the children are real. I think they're some sort of illusion. So, also, in an interview, Paul Bettany said that this series is going to end with an Infinity War style ending, a battle, a grand battle. With who? That's what started me thinking about this. With who, Paul? What villains are you going to be fighting? There's no Thanos. There's no space monsters. There's no anyone. Who are you going to have this massive endgame style war with? The Salem 7. That's what it's going to be. Nicholas Scratch and the Salem 7. I think that a little twist on this is that they need 2 bodies specifically for Nicholas Scratch, who's the guy in the commercials, or there's a woman with him. So I'm thinking there's a possibility that they've changed this, retcon this a little bit for the MCU Disney Plus series, that maybe this is his wife. Maybe this is the mother of all of them. And unlike the comic books, he didn't father them through separate ones. And that, or the other thing is, this is Vacuum, one of the Salem 7, who's probably the most deadly of all of them. At least to anyone that needs air. So, but if it's the wife, that's why they need 2 bodies. Or maybe they don't care for 2 bodies, they just need 1, and Scarlet having Wiccan and Speed is just a bonus. They have an extra body that they don't need. But they are making these bodies for Nicholas Scratch, I'm thinking now. He is a pawn of Mephisto. Mephisto is the overall villain like Thanos was. He's not the villain in this story directly. Everything is through the movement and the plans and the plots of Nicholas Scratch. Nicholas Scratch is the big guy that is the villain in this series. Trust me on this. They are bringing this all together in a way that's going to allow multiple universes to open up. They've already said that this is going to be the lead-in to the Doctor Strange sequel, that this also has to do with Spider-Man's multi-world problems. This is all stemming from Scarlet Witch. She is totally ruining Phase 4 with whatever she's doing right here. I also had a thought. This is interesting. This is wild. I don't know if this is true. This is just a crazy thought off the top of my head. But so apparently both actors who have played Quicksilver are signed on to have appearances on the show. So I was thinking that again, I'm sorry, I can't remember the actors' names. But the one from Sony's X-Men, he's young enough, and he does have a young look. On top of that, maybe he's the late teen version of Speed. And this would open up for Wanda's real brother, Quicksilver, Pietro, to be back in the main universe, and they can have both actors in. One is Speed and one is Quicksilver. But anyway, this whole thing is a plot by Nicholas Scratch. The 7 cast members on the show that are not sword agents are all members of the Salem 7. You heard it here first. And not only that, I'm betting you heard it here only. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to me rant.